Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. So this morning, I played an over-the-board classical game. It's my fourth game this year. So I'm playing in a league where we play almost every weekend, one game per Sunday. Um, so my opponent was slightly lower rated than myself today. It was a young kid. He was about 12, 13 years old, and his rating was around 1220-ish, somewhere around there. Of course, I'm talking about FIDE ELO, not chess.com. So quite a big difference, I would say. And coming into this match, I never like to play kids because they're very unpredictable. Sometimes their rating is adjusted to their level, depending on how much experience they've had. Other times, however, their rating is way, way lower than their actual chess strength. So they're quite underrated and they can be very dangerous to play against. So I wanted to show you my game from this morning. It was an interesting game. And hopefully you'll learn something by the end, and hopefully you'll enjoy. So let's get cracking. Here we go. So I had the white pieces, and I've been playing e4 lately. Every time I get the white pieces, just to build up, some experience and a decent repertoire with this starting move. My opponent surprised me right away. He played c5, the Sicilian, of course, but in my experience, kids his age usually go for e5 straight away, so e5, and we get the symmetrical, most common move, most common response. But yeah, he played c5, and I took a minute here. I was considering either c3 right away, the ALAPIN, which is something I've been playing with white, or the delayed ALAPIN. Both are good moves, both are playable, but I've been watching some Daniel Naroditsky lately, and he plays c3 right away, so I was like, let me just play c3 and see what happens in this game. My opponent was prepared. He played knight f6, which is one of the best moves. Either knight f6 or d5 is probably the two strongest responses to the ALAPIN. I knew this move, and I pushed e5, which is the theory, the best move. He went to the center with knight d5, which is also theory. Here there are two moves. Basically, you can go knight f3 or you can go d4. I chose to play right away in the center with d4. And of course, here he takes. This is, I think, the only decent response. And still theory, I believe, as well. And in this occasion, I played knight f3, this kind of in-between move, since if he took here, then this would just, lose a piece. So, of course, he's not able to do that. He knew this line, I believe, because he was playing faster than myself and pretty confidently at this point. And he played d6 right here, which, according to the engine, is the best move as well. So, yeah. Opponent came ready to play, huh? And then I've reached this position a few times in the past. However, this is pretty much where my theoretical knowledge ends. The computer suggests e takes d6, c takes d4, so both of these moves. I went with bishop to c4, which is also one of the best responses in this position. And I was expecting him to go knight b6, which he did, attacking my bishop, and gaining a tempo. And here, what I was thinking about is bishop b3, which is, I'm happy to see, supported by the engine. Because I believe that if he takes this extra pawn on c3, it's not really that big of a problem. Because if you take a look, I have 3 pieces out. I'm almost ready to castle. And his knight is on b6, and he has nothing developed. He's not ready to castle at all. So I thought, if this kind of situation happened, I would definitely have a slight advantage. So yeah, he also saw that, and he didn't want to go into that, and he played bishop f5, which is both a surprising move, but at the same time, I thought this was a good move. It had an idea. The best engine move here is knight takes on d4, which I'll be honest with you, I didn't even consider during the game, simply because, okay, I'm attacking the bishop, but then I thought he was going to take my knight here, and after recapturing, my rook's a bit awkwardly placed. My pawn's on c3. I wanted to have my knight there. Knight's on the center. This pawn's, it could get attacked. I don't know. Maybe from a computer perspective, this is good, but I mean, I just didn't consider it. So after bishop f5, I saw that he wanted to take my knight on b1. I think that was his threat to just, let's say I play a stupid move, or not even a stupid move. Let's just say I castle here. I think taking here would be nice for him, because even though the computer says I'm still better, I don't know about these pawns. I don't know about this rook. I didn't love this position. I wanted to get something more standard, where I get the pieces to the normal development squares, if you will. So then I mean, after he played bishop f5, I took the pawn. So if he took now, at least I didn't have the problem with the c pawn being awkward here. And he played e6. And at this point, it says that e6 is one of the best moves for sure. When we analyzed the game after, I asked him if he wanted to, play d5 after e6, which would kind of transpose into a French pawn structure with e6, d5. However, it would be a better version since the bishop is on f5 instead of c8, which normally in the French, the light square bishop gets trapped behind the pawn chain and only really develops in the later stages of the middle game and so on. I thought this was a pretty good idea. And since I didn't know if he was maybe reserving this move as well, I just thought, okay, let me develop. And if he plays d5, I mean, I think it's going to be okay. It's a good French for him, but I got my pieces out. I'm ready to castle. No problems. Okay. So knight c3. He played knight c6, which is also a good move, just developing his knight to its natural square. I did consider d5 briefly, but yeah, the computer says it's fine, but I thought it was a bit too early, so I just, I castled, got my king out of the center, and yeah, I was pretty happy in this position. He played bishop to e7, getting ready to castle himself. And I just, I completed my development with bishop e3. And the evaluation at this point is slightly 0.04 better for black. But I mean, I'm castled, got my pieces out, and I'm looking to have an interesting middle game right here. And this is the first move that he made where I was like, hold on. I think I can get an advantage here. So the move he played was queen c7. Okay, so clearly the computer agrees with me. I'm immediately +1 right now. His threat is to take on e5 with the pawn, and then, he's got 3 attackers on that square, and I only have 2 defenders. So he was kind of like going after, he didn't want to play d5, he just wanted to go after my center here. But I immediately spotted that the queen is vulnerable to the knight b5 attack. However, knight b5 right away, knight b5 is one of the moves, but knight b5 right away didn't seem quite as good as if I prepared the next move and then play knight b5, which is exactly what I did. I played rook to c1. The engine doesn't agree with me. It thinks that, this is not great. But okay, I'm setting up a trap here. If he takes this pawn, and then I take back and he takes with a knight, he's gonna be, in that, he's gonna be in the view of my rook. And also knight b4 is gonna be a double attack on the queen. So here I thought maybe he's gonna play d5, maybe he's gonna castle, which d5 seems to be the best move. But he fell for the trap. Yeah, so he played he took on a, and he played this a bit fast, so I think he didn't sense the danger, first of all. And secondly, I don't know if he was a bit distracted or was just, just thinking about that pawn nonstop, but he played a bit too fast. He took on e5, I took back, and then he took with the knight. And immediately this is like +3 because of knight b5. Knight b5, and this is a double attack on the queen. And nobody's stopping my knight from jumping to c7 with a check and forking the king and the rook. This is where he realized that he had made a mistake. Of course, I mean, it's obvious, but he started really thinking, and he decided to give me this check, forcing a trade of knights. Of course, I take back with the queen. And the problem now is just his queen's attacked, and it has nowhere good to go, really. I mean, you're never gonna defend this square. So anywhere you go, it's already suboptimal in this situation. He decided to go queen e5. Of course, I went for the check, and this is, I think, where he just I don't know how to put this in the correct terms, but I think he didn't give up, but that's how it felt to me when he played this move. Because I mean, king f8 has to be played in this situation. King f8 and knight takes a8. Maybe take back, but then rook c8 comes. So I don't know if you can take back. It's a tough position to be in. But he played king d7. I mean, I almost jumped out of my seat in this situation. I was like, whoa, what? You're putting your king in the center? I mean, hello, rook d1 check, and yeah, look at all my pieces. I mean, this is just carnage, basically. Yeah, I mean, you can see like how a small trap and like just a few inaccurate moves, like 4 or 5 inaccurate moves in a row, and the position just completely collapses for him. In this position, he played bishop to d6, stopping that check. He doesn't really have many good options. I mean, if you just go back, you get it into all sorts of discovered attacks. And in this position, I knew that there was a key move that if I play this, precisely for maybe 2, 3, maximum 4 moves, it's either going to be checkmate or I'm going to win so much material that it's not even going to matter what I'm going to do next, right? But I still wanted to be very precise. First instinct was to take the rook. So, okay, I take the rook. If he takes back with either the rook or the knight, I mean, queen just jumps into here. So maybe something like this. And then let's see. Okay, rook takes is a bit better. And then I thought, yeah, queen here looks devastating, right? So that's one good way to go about this position. Next, I was thinking like, okay, how about I sacrifice this? And I mean, if he takes with this, then I have bishop f4. So that's no good. And if he takes with the queen, I mean, I can just win the queen. But again, this is, this is giving up. Queen takes d1. Let's say he takes here. I don't know. I mean, it looks great, but I would still prefer not to give up the 2 rooks since, they're both on open files and just staring down at the king. So I mean, I thought, yeah, it's a good move, but I bet you there's something better. And after like 10 minutes, I finally found this move. Well, I didn't finally find it. I just finally played it. That's what I mean. And it's bishop f4 right away. And this is the best move according to the engine. Bishop f4 with the threat of, attacking the queen, of course. But at the same time, you can't take. You just lose your queen. The bishop is pinned. And where's the queen going? I mean, anywhere the queen goes, rook takes, bishop on d6 is just a killer blow. One variation I thought about that he could possibly try is queen to e4, trying to trade queens, which would benefit him, of course, since I have a crushing attack. But this just, this allows the rook to get in. And after the king goes to like e7, most likely, I think queen g3 is just a a very solid move. You're preparing to give him a check here, and then this is also going to be over very quickly, because if he blocks, then let's just look at this. Okay, so I mean, let's try and save the rook. Check. If he goes here, then I go here. This is over. And if he tries to run, then, this is just a checkmate as well. So in this position, after I played bishop to f4, my opponent resigned. It was an 18 move game in total. So my shortest game by far, both in the quantity of moves and the amount of time it took. It's just we played over a little over an hour to reach this position. And yeah, compared to my previous over the board game, which took 4 hours, over 4 hours really. Yeah, I was super happy. Of course, my opponent was a bit lower rated than myself, so I did expect to win in the end, but it's always nice to win a game quickly and decisively, as in this one. So yeah, pretty nice. Well, there it is, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed watching that game. Hopefully my ideas, struck a chord with some of you, and maybe you even learned something. I think I played pretty well. Just, developed my pieces, created some traps, try to play actively, try to play accurately as well in a completely winning position, which I think is very important, something that I maybe didn't used to do so much before. And yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see everybody in a couple of days. All right, peace out, guys.